Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to all of you. I am Dr. Ramanlal Kachwe, Professor, Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry, Sir Dr. M.S. Gosavi, College of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, Nashik. As you already know, we have organized 1 week international FDP on recent advancement in pharmaceutical, academics, research, ethics, and social perspectives. For this, we have a wonderful personality, Dr. Girish Tillu, sir, professor in Interdisciplinary School of Health Sciences, Savitribai Phule, Pune University. I take this opportunity to welcome today's guest, Dr. Girish Tillu, sir, an expert in research ethics and publication for this online FDP. It's my great privilege to introduce to you our second day, third session speaker of the 1 week international FDP, Dr. Girish Tillu, sir. Sir has total experience 20 years. Sir has completed Bachelor of Ayurveda Medicine and Surgery 1997 and MD Dravya Guna Vigyan 2002. Vaidya Scientist Fellow, Transdisciplinary University Bangalore 2014, PhD in Health Science of Ayurveda Medicine in 2016. Sir has previously worked in various positions like Center for Development in Advanced Computing, Pune, as a group leader and domain expert for 7 years. He has active of research methodology group in Center for Rheumatic Disease for clinical research activities since 2002. He has executive editor of Journal of Ayurveda and Integrative Medicine. He has actively contributed in Government of India's Planning Commission Subcommittee for Ayush Research and Industry. He coordinated and participated in government activities for research methodology and Ayush informatics. He working with internationally reputed journals in that's Gurukul Muktai elsewhere 2015. He published the book with his mentors Professor Bhushan Patwardhan and Dr. Gururaj Moutalik in elsewhere 2015. He worked on various epidemiologic projects, teachers teaches courses related to Ayurveda and drug development, physiology, natural product research, data management, biostatistics, and research methodology. Work on more than 20 clinical trials from conceptualization to final reports. He completed two trials initiated by Ministry of Ayush, Government of India for prevention and management on COVID-19 and trial Ayurveda-based vaccine adjuvants. He achieved various awards, is received Hinduja Merit Scholarship for 3 years of post-graduation from Dharam Hinduja Foundation, Mumbai, 1999 to 2002. Selected as a CSIR Senior Research Fellow in Government of India, received Best Article of the Year by Ayurveda Patrika Nashik, awarded as a Young Associate of Maharashtra Academy of Sciences in 2006, received Arogyadeep Award as a Young Researcher in Medical Sciences, Vaidya Scientist Fellow of Transdisciplinary University Bangalore, M.V. Kollarkar Research Award by Vaidya Kadiwale Research Institute of Pune, Karyabhushan Award by Tilak Ayurveda College, Pune, received a Jinyasa Fellowship from Jinyasa Research and Education Foundation for Study in USA. He is a Vaidya Scientist Fellow for Transdisciplinary University, Bangalore. He published various research articles, that's near about 45 research and review papers, and books on integrative approaches for health, biomedical research, Ayurveda, and yoga, and edited report of a study group, Pune Health 2020, under the India Development Center, Pune. He published 5 book chapters. He has a patent on diagnostic classification of pulse signal waveform data. We have such an eminent, renowned, and dynamic personality with us. Now I request to Dr. Girish Tillu, sir, please guide the delegates on the topic of research and publication ethics. I am sure we will be enriched by this session. Once again, I welcome all of you for this function. Sir, please.
Sir, you're not audible.
Sir.
Yeah, I'm audible now.
Yes,
You're audible.
yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, are my slides visible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for this opportunity and enthusiastic organizers for this opportunity to interact with the colleagues from various colleges and research institutions. And uh, congratulations to all of you because you have decided to undergo such a training program. This afternoon, we are going to talk about research and publication ethics, and I'm going to discuss some of the guidelines, best practices, and the status of scientific publications. This is my declaration. I'm a faculty from Savitribai Phule Pune University. I also edit a journal, that is Journal of Ayurveda and Integrative Medicine, which is indexed in PubMed Scopus Web of Science, involved in various research activities, and I've tried to cite the examples or references which are quoted in the text or in slides. Actually, this particular equation, intellectual should be honest, and this particular equation, is it true? And when we discuss about this, we find that this is not always true. Why? If we discuss the reasons why always intellectuals are not honest, then there are several reasons. And one of the reasons is publish or perish. We are in always in hurry of publication, and we wish to publish at the earliest, publish fast, and that is the reason for so many misconducts or compromised practices in publication ethics. If we think why we do research, there are so many reasons. Research is sometimes compulsion. Research is done sometimes as somebody holds a position. Sometimes we want to share whatever solutions we have. Sometimes it is no option, and it is certainly a contribution, addition to existing knowledge, and a passion. The passion that says whatever we observe, let others know. जे जे आपणासी ठावे ते ते दुसऱ्याशी सांगावे. शहाणे करून सोळावे सकळ जण. So this is the basic motive of any practice, publication practice. And there are many publications. For example, there are many papers, newspapers, social media, WhatsApp University, and so on. Yet, scientific papers, they are different. And why they are so different? Because scientific publications, such as journals, they are different than magazines because they follow a peer review process, critical evaluation by experts. Many times, the structure and norms to be followed, they are clearly mentioned by journals, and there is a clear mention about what is available and what is new. When we publish in journals, we get authorship and people know about our publication, but this authorship is also a responsibility. This is responsibility and ownership of our ideas, and ownership also for frauds or any misconduct that happen intentionally or unintentionally. And any research publication is always an addition to the knowledge domain. There are so many rising cases of misconduct. And these cases, there are several types of misconduct that we observe. One experiment is published in many papers, false data, fabricated results, one paper published in many journals, copy and paste, that is plagiarism, authorship issues, no citations, credits, or acknowledgement are properly given to um, the original research, and desperation for publication. There are many other types of publication misconduct. For example, duplicate publication. Whenever there are more than one papers and when contained substantially is similar, so it is duplicate publication. Sometimes related terms are redundant publication, more than one publication where another publication is not needed. Duplicate publication is repeated publication or overlapping publication that has shared content between two or more papers, multiple submissions. Many times, authors submit one manuscript to many journals. Sibling publications, related paper from the same study. Redundant publication, they are redundant, duplicate, or repetitive publication, representation of more than one study, data set, or publication in electronic or print media, and the overlap may be partial or complete. Duplication may be in data, hypothesis, discussion, methods, results, and conclusion. And mostly, redundant publications, they are without cross citation. Means the second paper will not cite the first one. If they properly cite and they have clear idea that is what is published in first paper and the second paper by the same authors, will avoid the content which is published in first paper. That's why we give references. And if you follow proper practices of references and citations, then we can curb redundant publication. So same data by same authors, duplicate publication. Same data, maybe different authors or same authors, it cannot be plagiarism. Why duplicate publication is problem? Because duplicate publications, they inflate scientific productivity. They also impress and swell curriculum vitae, and they aim at grant, promotions, credit, but it is certainly a pseudo presentation. And duplicate publication many times are deceptive because they tend to skew the evidence. They mislead the reader that the article contains original information. Duplicate publication damage journal's reputation and infringes on international copyright law. This slide has been taken from Journal of Manipulative Physiotherapy. So what duplicate publication is problem? Because it wastes resources, needlessly expands the body of published literature, wastes journal space and wastes paper space, and wastes readers' time to find, secure, and read republished material. Duplicate publication, they also impact clinical decisions, the literature base, and future research. They overemphasize significance of content through repetitive publication, they distort finding, they interfere with meta-analysis, and result in qualitative exaggeration of interventions efficacy. And duplicate publication, it is a major problem in biomedical research or research related to medicine. Is duplicate publication always wrong? No. There are certain situations where duplicate publications can be used. For example, duplicate publications are accepted or needed in several situations when authors want to reach a very large audience, wider audience, reach different audience. For example, how various news editions, they try to reach out to different audience and different geography. Reporting study findings to the media, sometimes the study findings, they are published in scientific journals as well as they are also published in uh, popular media. Same guidelines to be circulated to various readers and target audience, because targeting several reader group or targeting wider research community, many times these guidelines they are disseminated through multiple journals. Sometimes we present conference abstract, convert into full paper and published in another journal. That is also a situation where we try to publish the same data but at a different platform. We reach out to specific audience. For example, a researcher has done some work and that is reported in material science, and its biomedical applications they are reported in another journal. So these are situations where duplicate publication can be accepted. Communicating in different languages, for example, Hindi version, English version, or various language versions, it can be accepted. Very long studies, and they may be published in series, and hence medical, surgical applications of different journals, etc., that can be published. Same data but different interpretations, or journal republish landmark article from past volumes. But one thing is certain, whenever published as duplicate article or whatever same content is presented through another media or another journal or platform, it is all the original article or the first article is always cited and clearly labeled. For example, we many journals they also publish the uh, 50 years ago article. So this is archives of surgery. Sometimes guideline is published in several journals. For example, this Consort 2010 statement is published in various in various journals on the same day. Sometimes we have preprint publication, and this preprint uh, server or the manuscripts published on preprint server, they later get submitted to journal. And these are various situations where secondary publication is accepted by International Committee of Medical Journal Editors. This is the expectation from ICMJ. The authors have received approval from the editors of both journals. The priority of primary publication is respected by publication interval, negotiated by both the journals, and paper for secondary publication is intended for a different group of readers. Another aspect is the secondary version faithfully reflects the author's data and interpretation of primary version, and the secondary version cites primary version, and the title of the secondary publication should indicate that it is a secondary publication and that is not to be published as if the original research or the primary research is being published. Then how to prevent redundant publication? Track the publication or dissemination of your abstracts, teaching files, and lecture notes. If we have submitted an abstract to a meeting of presentation, then don't use text, figures, details of the data in future manuscript. If we want to use the data, then cite proper references. If we have any question, then transparency is the best policy, and many times we can write to editors, and editors also discuss and uh, take take a note on that particular aspect, and they can get back to us. Another problem is salami slicing, means slicing a study into many pieces. And the salami slicing means converting one paper into several different papers. Breaking up or segmenting a large study into two or more publications, it can result in distortion in literature and that can lead to unsuspecting readers to believe that data of each slice or data of each component that is published that comes from a different sample or different experiment, and hence one particular experiment it is sliced and communicated. The people they think that many experiments are actually reported, but it is not the case. Salami publication. Same study, but it is published in many articles, breaking up or segmentation of research at small incremental step. Opposite to Salami, there are Himalayas publication, means many studies, but they are combined to form one article, and the data is pooling data from different experiments and posing as if several components they are put together to form a big or a new experiment. And such kind of papers, please remember, they are different from systematic reviews. Systematic reviews, they are upfront targeted to collect combined data or to do research synthesis. But here in a Maras publication case, many authors, they try to draft the paper based on several components as if they are going to write the original paper or a fresh experiment. Same data with same authors, duplicate publication, data of papers is sliced in different papers, salami slicing. Sometimes another misconduct, and which is also very common, that is selective reporting. And what is selective reporting? Selective reporting is designing a study and careful, it has to be properly disseminated in research. Now, if a study is designed and selectively published or a fragment of reality is published, then this will not give the proper judgment of the existing reality. Sometimes only one part which is convenient it is published, and hence that becomes a problem, and office of research integrity that tells us why selective reporting is a problem, right? Many times statistically significant reports are published as a temptation, manipulation of graphs, removing outliers, or implementing some subtle change and distorting or altering visual representation of results. That is also a problem. Such practice are mostly deceptive because they try to tell the story which is not the truth, and it is contrary to the spirit of scientific publication. Hence, selective reporting should not be done. If we are not sure of something, some situation, then it is better policy to follow honesty and put down whatever we have got and what does analysis see very clearly in front of authors. Thus, researchers, they have ethical responsibility to report results of their studies according to a priori plans, means according to the plans which they have already drafted, and any post hoc manipulation that may alter results or findings, that should not be followed. And as I said, manipulation, changes, presenting outcomes as a different way, etc., they may lead to selective reporting, which is uh, extremely deceptive and should be avoided. Misinterpretation. There are so many things misinterpretation, and we are going to discuss about next thing, that is conflict of interest. A conflict of interest is a set of conditions which professional judgment concerning a primary interest tend to be influenced by another interest or secondary interest. For example, the researcher has a role to assess any particular intervention or to test a particular hypothesis or thought. At the same time, researcher is expected to look after patients' welfare. Now, there are two roles. First, a researcher may be fascinated by an idea or a treatment or an intervention that he or she wants to report actually and gather data in support of that particular intervention. And at the same time, a researcher is expected to follow research integrity, truth, and report what the experiment suggests. Hence, these two interests can be competing or can be conflicting interest, and hence the journals they expect us to declare many conflicting interest within a within a particular decision making context. An individual is subjected to coexisting interest and a situation where two social roles simultaneously generate opposing benefits. Thus, conflict of interest is a set of circumstances that creates a risk that professional judgment or actions regarding primary interest will be unduly influenced or by a secondary interest. Thus, the Office of Research Integrity of US Department of Health and Human Services that tells us authors must become aware of all possible conflict of interest in their own research and make every effort to disclose these situations, ranging from financial, non-financial, personal, for example, stock ownership, consulting agreement, or sponsoring organization, that many such things that may pose actual or potential conflict of interest. A conflict of interest is on or competing interest can occur when researchers have financial, commercial, legal, professional relationship with other organizations or with people working with them, and that could influence the research. So, any particular deviation, any conflict, or any other interest that is hampering the primary interest of integrity, we can declare the competing interest in covering letter or the manuscript submission form on journal's peer review system. Can be various types of competing interest. For example, employment or voluntary involvement, collaboration with advocacy groups, from an entity paid to the author or organization, personal fees received by authors, honoraria, royalties, consulting fee, lecture fee, testimonials, etc. Patents held or pending by authors, their institutions or funding organizations, or licensing to any entity where earning royalties are made or not. Royalties being received by authors in their institutions, stock or share ownership, benefits related to development of products such as outcome of work. Hence, there can be so many non-financial competing interests ranging from receipt of drug, consumables, computer programs, digital appliances, data repositories, access to such repositories, archival resources, museum collections, etc. And holding a person on the boards of industry bodies or private companies, that may be uh, beneficial, but that can also lead to competing interest. Writing assistance, administrative support, personal, political, religious, ideological, academic, or intellectual competing interest, they are also possible, and the conflicting interest, including involvement in legal actions related to that particular work. When an author, editor, or reviewer, because the competing interest can also be present at various levels. For example, the researcher, then the reviewer who is going to report or who is going to assess that particular review or report, editor, also reader. There can be competing interest at various places. They are also called as dual commitments, competing interest, or competing loyalties. This is very important topic in research ethics, that one should know our competing interest and then declare it and then manage it and ensure that the competing interest is not going to hamper the validity of this study. there can be direct competing interest. For example, having employment or stock ownership, grants, patents. There can be indirect, for example, honoraria, consultancies, mutual fund ownership, paid expert testimony, etc. The competing interest can also exist as a result of personal relationship, academic competition, and intellectual passion. What if our own relative is appearing for examination or submitted a paper and we are reviewing paper of a close relative? That can be a problem. Person's association of with the organizations interferes with their ability to carry out research or a paper without bias. The relationship, when later is revealed, make the reasonable reader feel deceived or misled, and hence the conflict of interest is to be avoided at appropriate stage. This is the guide declared by a guide to declare competing interest. If we have any undisclosed relationship that may cause a competing interest, then better way, while you submit a paper or submit any particular document, it is always the best policy is to disclose potential competing interest, including reviewers or including journals or uh, editorial board members. Undisclosed funding sources that may present as competing interest, and hence a declaration includes these funding aspects as well. Anyone in the research process or anyone who is the stakeholder of research, right from parent organization, society, publisher, editor, reviewer, author, and reader, anyone can have competing interest. Thus, if we start from research process, there are several stages that our research really moves forward: conceptualization, approval, conduct, and reporting research. At each stage, right from conceptualization, where we can plagiarize or we can steal idea from somebody, not having proper citations, not conducting sufficient scientific review, or aspects related to method development. While we submit research for approval, there are so many things like ethics committees, institutions, data safety monitoring board, regulatory bodies. When we actually conduct, there are many teams involved, right from a researcher team, study participants, study material, quality compliance, data security and management, and so on. Whenever we report our research, we can also publish protocol, we can also register a study, and thus help the process where the information related to your study is presented in on a group on a global platform, or the presentation is shared, the protocol is shared with the stakeholders. Then it comes to scientific publication. And when researchers submit to journals, then at the level of editors, editorial processes, we have many competing interests. And that leads to the validity, transparency, and ethical aspects of that study. Friends, many times we notice the life cycle of paper, journey of an article. When we complete research work and submit the manuscript to a paper, to a journal, it is peer reviewed, if not that's rejected, and the cycle continues, revision cycle continues till paper they are accepted or rejected. Then accepted articles, they are published and indexed in journals. This is the life cycle of paper. Once published, paper makes history anyway. Now, there are various efforts where the intellectuals can be made honest, and going to talk about some best practices. The Committee of Publication Ethics has given many practical documents or flowcharts how to deal with certain scenario, and I suggest everyone who is interested in scientific writing to get acquainted with the Committee of Publication Ethics or publicationethics.org. There are initiatives, for example, in 2019, ICMR had drafted a policy, and that is ICMR policy on research integrity and publication ethics. And this policy was aimed at ensuring highest professional and ethical standards for biomedical and health research at all stages. And I suggest you to read this document. This is very important document that says that the ethics aspect or misconduct can be prevented at various levels, right from inception of the study, honest in conduct of research, obtaining relevant approvals, efficiency, judicious use of resources, ensuring accountability, transparency, declaration, management of conflict of interest, justice, reliable data collection, handling, interpretation, integrity in analysis, reporting, publication, and translation. There are many stages where the misconduct is possible, and this becomes our responsibility to minimize such misconduct. The University Grants Commission has come up with a document that is good academic and research practices, and this document aims at improving public trust in research and output for healthy modern society. Although research enterprise is self-correcting, this is self-regulation that occasionally needs help. Thus, who does research? So, a person who is well versed in that particular scientific domain is expected to do that research. And as that person stands at high level of knowledge, understanding, then that person is expected to follow better research standards. And when we start following the standards, that becomes automatically a responsibility. Thus, this good academic and research practices document enlist various aspects of uh, research publications. This document tells several values underlying research. For example, ethics. Research is conducted in an ethical manner, ensuring dignity, rights, safety, and privacy within the researcher ecosystem. Research integrity also expects rigor and high quality study or high quality experiment. Relevance. When knowledge is expanding fast, and how to discuss the relevance, because researchers are also expected to conduct literature search in order to keep track with evolving data. Transparency. Honesty is promoted through transparency, and the researcher should have such an attitude that whatever findings they have got, the findings can be reported without deviating them. Respect. Process of research is aligned with norms and traditions of society and cultural heritage with respect to colleagues, research participants, and environment. And impartiality means objectivity and lack of bias. Independence. Research functions must be insulated from appearance and the reality of undue influence of confounders or any or non-researchers with this take in the outcome of the research. To promote objectivity, researchers should allow independence of study design, conduct analysis, interpretation, and dissemination of research and research findings. For example, in many research projects, there are certain tasks allocated to certain people, and they are expected to perform the task uh, without meddling with any other person. Accountability. Research will comply with both the spirit and letter of relevance rule and procedures and ensure the accountability. Research misconduct. Research misconduct are set of various activities including fabrication, falsification, plagiarism in proposing, performing, reviewing, or reporting research. Thus, if we are, say, editors or reviewers, we are also expected to ensure proper review. If a researcher wants to propose a research project, so right from proposing to publication, this particular uh, aspect has to be remembered. University Grants Commission has also published uh, a gazette notification, and that suggests very stringent penalties for those who plagiarize or who makes copy paste or do any kind of research misconduct. Nowadays, we are into the era of ethics and governance of artificial intelligence for health, and this is the latest document by World Health Organization that tells us about ethics and governance of artificial intelligence for health, and this is the guidance for large multimodal models that WHO consensus on ethics principle to use artificial intelligence for health includes protecting autonomy, promoting health, well-being, human safety, and public interest, ensure transparency, explainability, and intelligibility, promote AI that is responsive and sustainable, evolve inclusiveness and equity, and foster responsibility and accountability. Thus, these are not just the principle to be followed by data scientists, but the principle that everyone need to remember and take care. Friends, this is the statement by one of the great researchers. His name is he was Douglas Altman. He used to say, "What should we think about a doctor who uses wrong treatment either willfully or through ignorance, or who uses the right treatment wrongly? Should we think about researchers who use the wrong techniques, use the right techniques wrong way, misinterpret results, and report their results selectively, cite literature selectively?" Thus, the doctor said, we need best research. We need less research, better research, and research done for right reasons. And that he wrote in Scandal for Poor Medical Research in British Medical Journal in 1994, almost 30 years ago, when the world was not looking at um, AI or digital interventions in scientific publication. No, he was Professor Douglas Altman from Center for Statistics in Medicine, University of Oxford. When we have graduate ceremony, then this is the guidance at graduation that we receive. Satyam vada dharmam chara swadhyayanma pramadaha. Speak truth, be on the righteous path, and do not miss self-study. This is the guidance. So instead of publish and perish, we have another approach, that is publish and progress. With this, I think I conclude my talk, and then we can have a few question answer sessions if possible. Over to you for question answer session. Can I have comments in comment box so that
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes. Thank you. One participant posed their question. That's question is in our screen, sir. What are the limitation of research?
okay? What are limitations of values? What are limitations of trust? What are limitations of knowledge? All those are limitations of research. What is research actually? If we think research is knowledge generation, then that is a good thing always, because that knowledge generation keeps, the world progressed. But in the name of research, there are so many things are they are ongoing, and there are certain limitations if research is not properly done. Any other question?
Question? No questions. Sir. No more questions. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Uh, Today's session was very nice. And sir, discuss on the various topic on the research and their ethics. That's that why we do the research and what types of the journals we have select for the publication of our research. Then sir discuss on the duplication in the publication. That means in short that on the research maybe that the duplicate research, maybe some uh, scientists, some researcher have published their work in multiple submission in the form of that manuscript. Sir also told about that what the idea for the plagiarism, then who can have call these for publications, then number of things they have covered in the research and publication ethics. On behalf of Gokhale Education Society, Sir Dr. M.S. Gosavi, College of Pharmaceutical, Education and Research, Nashik, the principal and all staff, I'm very thankful to Dr. Girish Tillu, sir. Uh, I appeal to sir, so please kindly accept the certificate of appreciation from our side. So please accept this
Thank you.
appreciation certificate. And thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for the patient listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Can we stop, sir? Can-
Should I leave the studio?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes.